Okay, good afternoon. This is a meeting of the Baltimore City Ethics Board for June 14th, 2023. My name is Stephen Fogelman. I'm the chairman. We're going to call the meeting to order. And we need to let you know that the board may need to close some or all of this meeting to preserve the confidentiality maintained by the Ethics Code or as otherwise authorized by the State Open Meetings Act. Also, upon adjournment of the open session, the board may reconvene for an administrative session to discuss non-public administrative functions of the board, as we did on May 10th, 2023 at our last meeting. We went into administrative session then at approximately 3:42 p.m. and 3 board members, a quorum, was present. We discussed administrative matters, including complaints. All right, I understand we have some folks in the administrative session with a hard stop of about 4 o'clock today. Does anybody else have a hard stop on the meeting? We want to be finished by 4, let's be honest. So
that sounds good to me.
All right. And we'll move straight into the public session minutes approval for May 10th, for April 12th and May 10th of 2023. Are there any comments or edits requested?
Well, right. Steve, we have the same issue as last time. So John wasn't here for the April meeting, but now we're missing Arnold. So I'm not sure. We could always try and make a, vote on these outside of the meeting. I'm not sure how you would propose.
Okay. Yeah, I thought Arnold said he'd be jumping on.
Yeah. He'll be joining a little bit later, so we can always push these up to the end.
Yeah, we'll just move that that item. I would recommend that we go ahead and go straight to new business at this point to accommodate Director Gilmore, who is here to see us today. And hearing no objection, we'll go ahead and move into new business to hear about the gift solicitation waiver application from the Mayor's Office of Cable and Communications for the United Negro College Fund. Good afternoon, Director Gilmore.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pretty much, we were invited by the UNCF last year to participate in the Mayor's Mass Ball. The Mayor's Mass Ball is an event. It's a signature event that UNCF that they do across the country in various cities with various mayors. We adjusted, initially Mayor Scott was listed as a host. Based on some other ethics language, we adjusted it and made him a special guest for safety. And then we have developed what we call a host committee, and we're asking that for permission for them to solicit funds or, donations on behalf of the mayor for this event.
All right. Is this a program? How long has this program been going on?
UNCF?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, many, many years.
Right.
I don't know how long the organization has been in.
Since our lifetimes, for sure.
Yeah, and in my lifetime, for sure. And so I don't know. Offhand, I feel like it's 70 years. I want to say. Yeah. I can get that information to you.
No,
but this event is it's been happening for several years, and they do several signature fundraising events, and it's for scholarships for students in Baltimore attending HBCUs across the country.
Right. And any funding is going to go through the Civic Fund?
So all of the funding is being submitted to the fiscal sponsor is the United Negro College Fund.
Oh.
So we will not manage any of the funds. The sponsorship. Yeah, it'll go direct to them, and they will provide us with a report to make sure that the funds are, being allocated and used appropriately.
All right. Is that something that we'll be getting a copy of?
I can certainly share a copy of it with you all.
All right. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes. This is John McCauley, Ms. Gilmore. I'm just trying to understand it a little bit. It looks like the mayor and a couple of the mayor's close associates or deputies will be soliciting donations to the United Negro College Fund. So those donations will not be going to the mayor. But on the other hand, it does feel a little bit like the mayor, if the mayor came to me and said, would you donate to this organization, which I really support, and I gave a big donation to that, I guess I'd wonder whether the mayor now owed me a favor since
the mayor is not soliciting donations. He is not. I think that it was recommended to us by the law department that we list him on the application. He is not soliciting donations. I think his name was there because he will be posting on social media, and for safety, they wanted to list him there.
Yeah, I was just reading the application, which says that the mayor and possibly Marvin James will broadly solicit members of the public.
Yes, but through social media. So not donors, they'll just be posting, be able to post social collateral to social media to say, this event is happening, support the cause. But in terms of direct solicitation, those targeted and direct, that is going to be done by the host committee.
And who's the host committee?
I can share that list with you. There is quite a few people on that committee.
Okay, because again, I'm sorry, because I'm just coming at this from the application, which says that it says identify all public servants who will be soliciting contributions, and it says Mayor Scott, Marvin James, and the mayor's office. And the paragraph above that says it will be through social media, as you said, but also and other communications. And so I guess I just raised that as a question. It does seem to me that it creates a bit of a bad look if the mayor is directly soliciting contributions to his favored charity. If I'm a contractor with the city, I'm eager to get in line to give to that.
Again, he's not directly soliciting. I believe that the law department placed that language there because he will be posting to social media. So, I mean, directly soliciting in terms of like the donors, Johns Hopkins giving us $50,000 or whatever, he's not doing that.
Melody?
May I make a suggestion? That might make this a little bit easier. I understand, Ms. Gilmore, the point you're raising. Just to make everything above board, perhaps you could just amend the application, section 4 that John is pointing out to make it clear who will actually be soliciting the contributions. So if it is the host committee, maybe you could amend that section to include the host committee and maybe the members of that host committee so that it's more clear to the ethics board, and that might allay some of John's concerns. I mean, because to his point, I mean, the application is actually inaccurate the way that it's written, just so that we have it accurate for the board.
I think based on the line of questioning that I was asked from the law department, I think that's how they drafted that. But I can certainly make an amendment. And to note, none of the members of the host committee are Baltimore City officials.
Well, that's helpful to know, and you might want to note that too. And just as an aside, as a former member of the Baltimore City Law Department, I can relate to this communication. So no worries. But that would be my suggestion. I don't know how the fellow board members feel.
Well, I certainly think that would be a good thing to do, to amend the application, although you may get a little pushback from the law department on that. To me, what seems to me the issue is this. You've got the mayor's office supporting this charity, and whether it's the mayor himself or his deputies or some committee, if I'm a contractor interested in currying favor with the mayor's office, it would behoove me to get on a list of donors that the mayor will see and attend the ball where the mayor will be, and make it known to the mayor that I really was generous with this charity that he likes and supports. And I haven't looked at the ethics law in respect to this particular issue, and maybe strictly speaking, it doesn't violate the ethics law in some way you can cite to a provision for it. But it does feel a little bit like the mayor's office inviting people to donate to his charity, and he's not saying this will get you favors, but it feels like somebody might think it might get them favors.
And John, I think maybe Chris
Understood.
can weigh in. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Gilmore. I was going to address you.
No, I was just going to say that's understood, but however, it does not feel that way to me or us as we approached this event. I was brought into this later after the people who were spearheading this. Some folks are no longer with the mayor's office and some people are out on maternity leave, but the mayor is listed as a special guest, not as a host of the event, not as to solicit donors. I am a special guest. This event is happening and I'm a special guest. And that's why we changed that language very specifically to not look like it was his event or anything. The name of the event is Mayor's Mass Ball. That is the signature name of the event, just because it's hosted in various cities. So it is not specific to our mayor or named that because that's just the name of the event. So I understand. I'm happy to make the amendment to Section 4. I'm happy to provide a list of all of the members of the host committee and remove, and I don't know any other way to say that the mayor will be acknowledging this event or letting the public know that this event is happening and that he is a special guest at this event. Besides, he'll be posting it on social media. So that is the extent of his involvement, is that it will be shared on his social channels.
I think maybe what would be helpful again is just to amend the application. And then perhaps we can, I know that it's coming up it says on the 2013, that's probably not right, but I know it's coming up. Maybe if you could amend and have the board reconsider. Do we have time for that? Is that an acceptable solution to the board?
Well, Melody, we meet monthly, as you know. I mean, I would be even more inclined to say that we would approve it conditionally subject to the amendments that we have requested.
I would, if that's a motion, I would second it.
So moved and seconded.
Happy to provide that amendment by the end of the week.
John, do you want to have any discussion on this?
No, I mean, I think I've expressed my particular concerns, and I think I'd like to see an amended application that accurately reflects who's doing what. I'm willing to vote aye on your motion, Steve.
All right, thank you. So all in favor of conditionally approving the gift solicitation waiver request in this matter of the MOCC and the United Negro College Fund, subject to the amendments discussed by the board herein, signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
May I also make one more point? I would just caution that the advertising via social media that the mayor be careful about how he does that, and make sure that he does, when he does advertise it, that he is a special guest and that it is not a solicitation. I'd be careful about those specific media posts. To John's point.
Absolutely. We are this is why we've been dealing with this since January, and this is why it's just coming to the board, because we were internally trying to figure out the best way to approach this. And because this had already been committed to by members of MOGR, we wanted to actually honor the commitment. So we were trying to figure out the appropriate way to do that before we brought it to the ethics board. So absolutely, we will carefully craft that language when, and the graphic itself says special guest. So when crafting language surrounding the visual part of the social media, we will definitely make sure that we're using appropriate language.
Also, as one quick point, a condition of the waiver approval is to provide a disclaimer in all solicitation materials saying this does not guarantee like special favor by a city agency. So I'd recommend that you include that disclaimer in all solicitation materials, and you'll see that in the waiver approval letter. But basically, perhaps at the end of the social media post, provide a bit of a disclaimer so that it's consistent with the requirements under the gift solicitation waiver. And you'll see that in the approval letter.
Yeah, thanks,
absolutely. Thank you for that, Mara. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Director Gilmore, thank you for being here today and answering our questions. It's a pleasure.
Thank you all for your consideration, and I'll make sure that I have all the information over to you by the end of the week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, moving along. We want to go back to old business, or would our ethics officers like to advise us?
Yeah, I can provide an update on the metrics. They're a bit interesting this month. So I'll just get right into it. So one quick amendment to the previous minutes. There were 199 help desk requests in March. There were 2 more ethics inquiries than what I had previously reported. And then in April, we received 296 help desk requests. The vast majority are regarding financial disclosure statements, 266, and then 19 ethics inquiries. The rest were split among trainings and lobbying. And then moving on to May, in May, we received 204 help desk requests, bringing the majority about financial disclosure is about 142. We have 34 ethics inquiries, and then a number of ethics training questions, admin questions, questions about lobbying. So our total this year is 1,229. Our total last year was about 1,500. We're pretty close to that. We might be a little bit less this year, but people are more familiar with the financial disclosure website, so those numbers each year are going down. So that's actually a very great metric for us. For the ethics training, 86 people took the training in March. That's different than what I had previously reported. 3 more people had taken the training in March. 83 people took the training in April and 34 in May, bringing our total this year to 447. We have 13 ethics complaints and 20 active gift solicitation waivers, 17 expired gift solicitation waivers. And then financial disclosures. This year with HR and city agencies and boards, we identified a little over 3,150 positions with a filing requirement. But at the beginning of the year, about 400 of those positions were vacant. So that means roughly a little over 2,700 individuals were required to file an annual statement, and that's not including new employees who need to file an entry statement. So around 2,700 filers this year. We are missing 78. So we have 78 late statements. We are following the requirements in ethics law for outstanding statements, and we can discuss that during the administrative session. But that number is significantly lower than where we were last year. So definitely getting better each year. And then our last metric is lobbying. Our semi-annual reports are due July 31st. In the meantime, this evening, we're deploying a new lobbyist website. Everything is the same. The data has been moved over to the new site, but it's going to be a lot prettier and a lot more user-friendly. So we've been working a little bit with BCIT just to kind of tinker with the site, and we were required to move over to this new software. But nothing's really going to change, but it is a progress, and those are the metrics.
All right, thank you very much. Chris, Mara, would you like to introduce our new special assistant?
Yes, absolutely.
So my Zoom on my thing on my phone, my camera was blocking you. so So welcome.
Yes, this is Nayshawn Bond. She's our new special assistant, and she'll be helping a lot with some of these admin matters, financial disclosure statements, the annual report. So we're so excited to have Nayshawn.
Definitely. It takes a team. Welcome on board,
Yes.
Nayshawn.
Welcome to the circus.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. And Chris, our prayers to your family today. And you just drop off if you need to take take a call. Is there anything you wanted to discuss with the board at this time?
The only thing as a footnote to the data regarding the financial disclosures, it looks like we have a commitment from BCIT to assist in the redevelopment of our financial disclosure interface and backing it into a proper database, so the customer or the user ease of the reporting features should be greatly enhanced, and also would provide us with hopefully less 1987 style possibilities to manage data. So that is very positive. Otherwise, I have one note for the old business, and then most of my contributions will be in the non-public, in the administrative section.
Thank you. And in that regard, let's stay with you, Chris, and go into old business at this time.
So we had, as you remember from last month, we had a request from the fire department on how to handle gift solicitations and gift acceptance waivers from controlled donors in the case of an emergency. I believe we have developed appropriate language for the handbook and submitted that to the fire department, who has received and acknowledged it. In brief, I will be the director of the ethics board will be the emergency contact, not contract, to expedite whatever requests there may be on short notice. So my cell phone is in that handbook, and we will revisit that annually. But so I will know when my phone rings at 1 o'clock at night that something has happened, and I will do my best to expedite any waiver requests that may arise from an emergency. So I believe we are in good shape with that.
It's above and beyond. So let's go ahead. Any questions on that? Anything we need to do on that? It's really an update, right?
It is an update, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I just had a question on that, Chris. When you called at 1 in.the morning about an emergency, does that require the board to then convene quickly and approve that, or are we giving you? I don't know. Are we delegating to you, or what are we doing?
You're not delegating to me. I will just be receiving that information and at the reasonable within a reasonable time outside of the monthly schedule of the board meetings, will communicate whatever request there is to you. They have all the appropriate forms, and let's say I get a call on a Sunday night, you may have it in your email box on Monday morning, and we could convene either briefly on Teams, or we could review the application and cast a vote via email. So that would be that's really the only.
That'd be far better than you're calling us at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I promise I will not call you.
Now, do so if you have to, but
I don't think that it's necessarily a call everyone, ring the bells kind of situation, but it's just to make sure that they don't have to wait a month to be able to accept much needed gifts in a time of crisis.
That sounds great. Thank you, Chris.
And then who wants to give us an update on the Summer Fridays waiver from Councilman Cohen's office?
Yes, I can do that. The board had approved this waiver at the last meeting contingent on BOE endorsement. I just provided a copy of that BOE endorsement because it was received. So now they're fully compliant and the waiver is, officially like active. So I just wanted to let you all know.
Right in time for Summer Friday coming up, I guess, 8 days from now, 10 days from now. Okay. I don't see any other old business, new business. We don't have Arnold, so I don't know how we're going to be able to. We can approve the May minutes, can we not?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Well, I don't think Melanie.
Oh,
was at
actually,
the
we
meeting.
can.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry, guys.
It's a process, y'all. Okay. We'll get, all right, once we get Arnold and John in the same room, we'll be good to go next time. He may join us, in which case I will ask him to move back into public session so that we can do that. That having been said, if there's no other business to discuss in the public meeting, is there anything else to discuss today in the public session? All right, then we will go ahead and adjourn our public session for Wednesday, June 14th. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You.
All right, good afternoon. All right, good afternoon. We've returned to public session at 4:07 p.m. There's been a motion to cancel the July 2023 Board of Ethics meeting due to summer schedules. Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
All right. All in favor of canceling the July 2023 Board of Ethics meeting for summer vacation, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. That motion carries with the understanding that the board can reconvene for a very brief meeting if absolutely necessary.
Okay.
Furthermore, we need to approve the May 2023 public meeting minutes. Is there any discussion regarding those minutes? Hearing no discussion, I'll move that we approve the May 2023 public session meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I second
Aye.
the motion. Aye.
Oh, I'm
Second the
sorry.
motion.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you,
Motion
John.
is properly seconded. All in favor.
So never did that again,
of-
Steve. Sorry, I said that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, guys. It's hard when I can't see you. It's different.
We
But
understand.
thank you all
No, we do.
for your diligence, and we will see each other in August again, God willing.
Okay.
And if there's no objection, we'll go ahead and adjourn this public session.
Okay.
And this session is adjourned. Thank you all very much.